everyone, I'm Karen and welcome back to my channel, finally, after like an age. Today I want to talk about the Graceling Realm trilogy by Kristin Cashore, and I know, I've had these books for nearly a year now, and I finally got around to reading them, and I kind of love them, so let's do this. Now, the Graceling Realm trilogy by Kristin Cashore starts with Graceling, and reason number one I really like this trilogy is because it's not really a trilogy. It's actually 3 companion novels and they all have different main characters. So Graceling has Katza as the main character. The second book's main character is Fire, and the third book's main character is Bitterblue. Now look, I even managed to snag this secondhand in a hardback. Yes. Now the funny thing is that usually I don't really like these kind of companion novel trilogy series. And the reason for that is that they're usually not that well done. And I think the reason for it being so well done is because the timeline changes. So we have the events of Graceling, which is the first book, and then you go back in time, I think it's about 20 years? 15 years, something like that, and we're also in a different part of the world, and so that kind of going back and forth in timeline and also in setting really helps to make this trilogy cohesive without being too done. Like, I feel like you can read them separately, but it's actually really nice to like read all 3 and then know about all the in-jokes. You know, who doesn't like that? The second reason I really loved this series were the characters, and I have favorites, but I can't really say why because I don't want to spoil anything, but I just find it very fascinating how she manages to get so close to the characters while still being in close third-person POV. I don't know how she did it. I mean, it does help that there's some kind of, not mind reading, but we see a lot of thoughts from people and that really helps, but there's something about her characters and she just writes chemistry really well, whether that's as a friendship, as family, or as lovers. Like, she just does it really well. It was really funny because after I finished the first book, I just sat down next to like my boyfriend and I was like, I need my babies to be together. I had such a very strong reaction to the end of the first book and I was like so that was interesting, and I love as well how she kind of goes through time both backwards and forwards in the trilogy, and then you kind of see what happens to the characters, which is just kind of very satisfying. Reason number 3 I like this series, and they're in no particular order by the way, I just thought that making a list would just make things easier rather than me just rambling at you. Now number 3 is the world, and I seem to be having a lot of I don't really know what to say moments when I'm talking about these books, but the way she writes about the environments, and she paints such a vivid picture of every single room you're in, every environment, and it really just transports you into the story and into the book and into the place where the characters are. And that is just amazing. Just, I can feel the fabrics. You can kind of imagine what it would sound like, what it would smell like. And that, I think she does so well. She goes into all of your senses. I also love how throughout these 3 books, you start off with quite a small map. You only see, I think, about 2 countries out of the map, though, you know, the other ones are referenced. And then the second book, you go to a different part of the world. You kind of know where it is compared to the other countries. And then back in the third book, you go back into the first bit and it just stretches. And I love series that do that, who kind of start you off small and then just grow the map and grow your understanding of the world and of its people, and also of like the political intrigue, what happens between the different countries, the history, the future. I mean, she just does it so well. Like, the world is well created. I feel like it feels real. You know, you've got that gut feeling sometimes where you're like, yeah, I could totally live there. I'd be terrified, but I could live there, you know. Reason number 3 why I love this series is the magic system, or the magic systems. The main one is the graces. So there are certain people in this world who are born with a grace, and they usually develop it when they're only a couple of years old. There's a marker associated with these graces, and it means that they have 2 different colored eyes, and it could be anything, like literally anything, from like fighting, strength, to something like singing. I mean, in one of the books there's this character that can smell people and then realizes what they really want to eat. I mean, it's random, but I feel like a lot of these Graces are just such nice small details, and yeah, it just kind of makes the world more rich and layered, and I just love a cool magic system because I've never come across something like this. I mean, like there's been some like more specific ones, but basically any skill you could have as a human being could be a Grace. So that's kind of cool. And the fifth and final reason why I really love this series are the swoons and the romance. My favorite out of the three is Fire, and just the main romantic storyline. I'm just totally down for that. Yeah, I am. I also really love how Kristin Cashore gives her female characters quite a lot of agency, not just in their lives, but also in their relationships. Yes. She uses a lot of romantic tropes I really like. I mean, the hate to love one, if it's done well, it is so good. And she does it so well. Yeah, I really cared about their relationships as well. And what I also really liked is that throughout the books, it's mostly in the third book, but you kind of re-meet people from the first couple of books, and you kind of see how their relationship develops over the years, which I have never really seen in a trilogy before. If you know of any other fantasy books that do that, do let me know down below in the comments, because I really enjoyed seeing those relationships grow and evolve and being quite close to them again after being away for a while as a reader. That was really interesting. So there you have it. I just think you should all read these books. I think I read all three of them in about, well, I started back early this month, so in about a couple of weeks. I really enjoyed them. If you like your fantasy a little bit more on the adult side, this might be your thing. So there you have it, that's it for today. Do let me know down below in the comments if you've read Graceling and the Graceling Realm trilogy. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll talk to all of you very soon. Bye.